the call, all I could hear was he crying. His family was crying on the background. For a minute, I myself got shocked. What happened? And I asked him to gather himself and tell me what happened. How can I be of your help? He took about a minute and he said, Megha, I have been seeing your work for quite some time as the president of Rotary Club. I've been seeing your network on how you've been building and helping people. But this time, I want something else from you. I asked him, tell me, what do you want? Don't tell me what am I doing or how you're observing me. Tell me what you want. He said, my wife has recovered from COVID, but we need plasma. We don't know where to go. I want you to help me with your network. There was a time I thought, what happened? This guy is born and brought up in Delhi. He has all the money. He has all the network in the city, but still couldn't arrange a small plasma for his wife. I said, all right, wait, I will help you out. I will try to help you out because I didn't know how to help him. So I activated my Rotary network, my Toastmasters network, my business network, and of course, my travel network. It was Facebook and WhatsApp primarily, where I started contacting everyone I knew, posted in the every group. And imagine within 2 hours, we were able to arrange 3 donors. And I called him. I said, do not worry. Tomorrow morning, 3 people are coming. He said, I want one. I said, you never know whether one person will be eligible or not. All 3 are coming. And then instead of sleeping quietly in the night, I kept thinking that if my capital, if the capital of our nation is struggling just for a small plasma, then what's happening in the whole country? Because before that, we were only seeing in the media. And like you all, most of you all, I also carry the same notion that media hypes a lot. Like we say, Rai ka pahad banana. So I had been thinking all this while that maybe media is right. And our country and our nation is definitely struggling. Next morning, I woke up with swollen eyes. The first thing that I did in the morning was I called up my pastor, Nishant Mehta. I told him, though the businesses are down, but we should come forward and help our countrymen. They need us the most. And he immediately agreed. So we started with a team of 2. But I would say we were not 2. We were 1 plus 1. And that is, we were 11. What we did, we both just started activating all the network that we have. I thank YI, that is Young Indians, YLF, CII, IMC, Rotary, of course, Toastmasters, our business partners, our travel partners, who started coming forward because we started asking everybody to come forward as a volunteer because there is a huge demand. People need us. And you would not believe, within just 48 hours, we were a team of 184 volunteers.
Amazing. Amazing.
I was literally shocked. And even now also, I mean, I cannot tell you what I'm feeling, that within just 48 hours, we had 184 volunteers who came forward to help us. And 48 people agreed to be a part of our core team. To be a part of our core team means this core team was working 24 by 7. We were working in shifts. And the next 3 months, we were working day in and day out, talking to patients, talking to the doctors, talking to the suppliers, and talking to the social media influencers. They played a very important role. The team who was helping us, we called them digital frontline warriors because they were working in sync with the frontline warriors as well. They were no less. Every day, every morning, we used to have one call with all the volunteers because we were all undergoing a mental stress as well. The situation was really bad. What we were seeing on the TV, actually, it was worse than that. There have been situations that we have tried to arrange a bed for a person. We worked for 48 hours or even more. And when we call the patient's relative, sir, your bed is arranged. And he says, this person is no more. We all were undergoing mental stress that time. But I decided that our team was aged between 15 years to 60 plus. Why 15? Because our volunteers had put in their kids as well in the team. And if you are not mentally well, you cannot continue. Some people did drop out as well because they could not handle the pressure. It's very difficult if today I'm trying to help somebody and I get to know that this person is no more. The patient's relatives are crying. It was a very difficult situation for us also to keep up our mental stress. But yes, we did that. That is why I called, in fact, me and my partner Nishant, we named all of them as digital frontline warriors. Then our core team was divided into 3 parts. One was mappers, second were digital researchers, and third were verifiers.
Okay.
Our digital researchers were very active on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. They used to gather the data because the major problem that we were facing that time, I'm sure all of you would have seen, people used to send messages that this is available, get the oxygen cylinder from this place, get the bed at this place. But when they used to call,
it's not available.
All the phones were switched off.
Yeah, exactly.
And we realized that it was adding up to the woes of people. The relative is already under stress.
Yes.
And he's frantically calling 50 numbers with zero result.
Absolutely.
So we decided that instead of just doing haphazard work, because we also didn't know how to manage, we started structuring. So our researchers used to collect the data, send it to the verifiers team, and our verifiers team used to verify. Instead of the patient's relative calling all the numbers, my verifiers, which were generally under the younger bracket, up to 25, 30 years, they used to call. They used to put the data in the Excel over the Google Drive. Then my third team was the mapper team. They used to call the person, whosoever has requested, and say, okay, this is available at this place. Please go and collect it. Because my verifier team had already done the job. And they used to map and they used to help them. Or otherwise, they used to call and they used to ask the verifier that get this data from anywhere, get this help from anywhere. So this was the pattern how we'd been working. We had been very active over all the social media platforms wherever it was possible. In fact, some of our young people, that included Rotrax as well, they downloaded God knows so many more social media platforms, Tumblr or some many platforms. They were active there also. So it was very interesting to see how the social media was utilized to help people.
Absolutely. That is a huge empowering platform,
Yes,
provided we use it effectively, like you said.
absolutely. Absolutely. It was very unfortunate to see that people were trying to bully people as well by posting wrong information. But at the same time, we posted right information. There were people around the world, around India, who were trying to verify. In fact, in our digital researcher team, I had 5 volunteers who were not staying in India,
Okay. Wow.
but they were Indians. They wanted to serve the country. They said, we are sitting and working from home and we want to support our country. To talk about the numbers, we have served more than 5 lakh families, out of which, we've served about 2 lakh families, out of which 5 lakhs were the patients. It was very sad to see at times the whole of the family is under COVID. We have seen people, kids getting orphaned.
Very sad.
It was really sad. It was really sad. But yes, I thank all my team members, all the people who have come forward. They are still helping. We still get requests, at times COVID, at times non-COVID.
Yeah.
But we still help all of them.
Correct.
We do have one more team, which is called the prayer team. All this while, people who do the meditation or who do the Buddhism chants, they themselves contacted us. So there are about 50 people who do chants and the meditation and the prayers for people. So we send the names as well. So that is also happening. I thank all the team members, everybody who has actually supported us during this time. It was not an easy job, but yes, we all managed to do it.
Definitely. I think the energy comes because you're doing good to people. And when one person recovers, the amount of happiness and joy that you feel each day must have been huge. But what about your family front? How did you manage there?
So, about my family front, uh, it was a kind of boon as well as disguise. My son had gone to study Shimla,
Okay.
so he's a first time boarder. So I started post 24th of April, and 4th of April was when I dropped him.
Okay.
And for the 20 days, I had been crying. My son has gone. I'm lonely. I'm lonely. And after 24th, I was like, no. And now I have time. I have to serve my mankind. So on my child's front, whenever I used to get a call, I used to tell him that this is what your mom is doing. And he used to feel very happy about it. And to talk about my husband, he had been very supportive. Being in the banking industry, he had to go to the office every day. But in the evening, when he used to come back, he used to help me sort the numbers. He used to help me guide how can I strategize and manage things well. He, being in HR, was the man who told me that if you can, a person like you who can undergo this kind of stress, then what about the younger people? You should do a 10 minutes call every day so that they are mentally well. So that's how we managed. At
Yeah.
times, I have not taken bath for even two days because we were on continuous
Continuous
calls.
calls. Yeah.
But we loved the work we've done. We loved each and every life we have saved. We loved each and every smile we have brought.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, third wave preparation, because there is a lot of talk. There are people who say that, so many people are already vaccinated, so there will not be a third wave. And there are people who predict the worst, that third wave is going to be worse than the second wave. So what is the preparation for the third wave? Is your team ready to take on, or has the team disintegrated, or what is the plan?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, are you aware that what is the current number of cases, active cases, almost every day?
Around 1 lakh?
No, it's about 26,000.
26,000.
30,000,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Yeah. So the second wave is as such not over. We've slowed down,
Yeah.
but the wave is still there. So my team is, as I just said, that we still get cases and we still help them.
How do we know this is the second wave and not the beginning of the third wave? This is still the second wave.
As of
There's
now,
the
if
symptoms.
you ask me, the number of cases had never gone too low because we've been continuously working. My team has been continuously. Our group is very well intact. We've never thought that the wave has gone. Cases
Yeah.
keep coming.
Yeah.
It was,
Okay.
I mean, it's just that, we just keep talking about the third wave, but second wave is still there. Unfortunately, people are not wearing masks. They are not maintaining the social distance. They are not following the norms. And India has already entered the endemic stage. Endemic stage is like polio or like HIV, wherein we have got used to of living with the situation because we are hugely populated. So to me, if you ask me about the third wave, I would say, as the specialists, they say that it'll hit the kids most.
Yeah,
I
that's what
think
is.
I think that is because they are not vaccinated. For the elder people, the wave will hit. It'll not be as bad as it was second wave because most of us are vaccinated. And the numbers may be very high in the third wave, or I can say the rise of second wave again, whatever we can say. But the recovery rate will also be very high, and the number of critical cases would also be very low. But for the kids, because they are not vaccinated, and in fact, flu vaccination is something that which has been promoted. We are ourselves promoting. Our kids have got flu vaccinated. We are asking everybody to at least get them flu vaccinated because their lungs are stronger, and COVID hits the lungs the most. So I just hope. I just hope that it doesn't hit the kids anymore. If we as adults follow all the social norm now, I trust me, kids will not get affected.
Yeah, but
It's we
schools
who
are
are doing
also, it is a dicey situation. In some part of the country, they want to open the schools. In some places, still they are not opening. So it is like a very confused situation. Children are going through a lot of stress. They are worried about their future because parents are all the time wondering, what are you going to do? You're already in 8th standard. We wanted to put you in this class. Now that is not happening. So children who are, I get calls from children who are in 8th standard and they're so worried what will happen. Will we complete our 9th or 10th? We want to go abroad for 11th. I said, still there is time. Now you have to think about your health, focus, and there is so much online material available. Just study, enjoy. That's it. Don't worry about it. That's what we keep telling them. But like you said, flu shot is something that we need to advise to all the children. Thank you very much for this input, because whenever children call, and we need to inform this to all school principals also, so that they can ask their children, ask the school children to take flu shots actively. Very nice. Thank you so much. That's
absolutely.
an input.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And kids are the actually most affected. stressed. They are absolutely stressed.
Very highly stressed. Yes.
I remember my son was just 4 days old and he used to get happy when my mother-in-law used to take him out and show the whole world.
Yes.
Imagine, the kids have so much energy, and they are just confined to home. I feel
Exactly.
so sorry for the kids who are actually sitting at home. And it is majorly we because we are trying to get back to normal. We have to earn, obviously we have to go out, but some unnecessarily movements are
Go
also
moments.
happening.
Absolutely. Yes.
So if we can avoid, I think that is the best thing that we can do. We should try to
Responsible
avoid.
behavior. Responsible
Yes, we
behavior
should
on the part
behave
of adults.
responsibly. Yeah.
Yes. No,
And
one
I'm sure,
parent was telling me about this now when you talk about your 4-day-old child. She said that an 8-month-old child, the mother and the grandmother had taken down, and they said, okay, abhi to thoda kam ho gaya. And they saw another child coming and the child was crawling. And this child was standing and the child saw the other child and screamed as though it's a scene and something else, because the child has never seen another child, so that much of fear was there. They immediately rushed back home, she said. So now we are showing on the television other kids and everything. We make it a point to show the child so that the child gets accepted that okay, there are other children like him, because he has seen only adults at home. So it is a very different world that the children are getting into. We can't even understand what they're going through. So
yes,
you're very right there.
they're affected the most. If I tell you about my own case, uh, last year in the month of August, because he was with us, this year only he had gone to boarding, and his session starts in June. In Maharashtra, the session, yeah, we are all in Maharashtra. In the month of August, my chap said, Mama, you are not the same person.
Mm.
You keep scolding me all the time to study. And I told him, Beta, the whole day till 4:30, you used to be in the school. Then you used to go out play. Then your tutor used to come. When do I scold you and when do I tell you to study? You had already been following the routine. But today your school gets over by 1, and then I don't know what all you're doing. So of course I want you to study. And he said, this is not done. This is not how I want to live with my parents at home. It's better you send me to school. When is this COVID getting over? And trust me, that was the time when I decided I'm not going to tell him anything for studies. If needed, I will ask him to repeat class 4.
Yeah.
But I will not let him undergo more stress.
I know.
And this chap never did his classwork September onwards because he realized that mom is not at all now nagging me for studies. he never he never did his homework.
Yeah.
I mean, in fact, once I got a call from the teacher. She said that he's not appearing for the exam also today. I said, okay, let it be. I did scold him, but then it was on back of my mind. I was very clear that I don't want to let him go any kind of stress while sitting at home. एज का क्या है वो थोड़ा सा एक साल if he goes senior then of course he will be more intelligent in the class. So I think it's a message for all the parents out here that please don't give more stress to your kids.
Absolutely.
Today the government is supporting, the whole education system is supporting. They are getting graduated, they are completing their 10th, they are completing their 12th without appearing for the exams because they know that the kids are under depression.
Stress. Yeah.
Please,
Absolutely.
first thing is mental well-being. It is very important. You should take care of that. Otherwise, they will lose out on their confidence. As such, they are not meeting many people, so they are not able to learn.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I also have seen that you have worked in during the second phase. You have completed 50 vaccination drives all over India and helped in 8,700 vaccinations. So How did you organize it? And also 25 blood donation camps. Just now we were talking about blood donation. So your contribution is so immense. So just share your experience about that. How did you manage it?
Thank you, Gurza. I see you've read everything. 25 camps, we have done 8,700 free vaccines already. While doing this, so I got support from municipal corporations. I got some local people who funded, they want to fund 10 vaccines, they want to fund 5 vaccines. So we just coordinated. And during these vaccination drives, my IFC team has been the one which has been most instrumental.
Wow.
Because I only arranged the free vaccines. They were the ones who actually coordinated, who actually spoke to the centers, who actually got the beneficiaries, and they got the vaccines done. Today, we have 25,000 free vaccines available with us, funded by ACT Corporate.
Okay.
And that is for the Pune district. Next month, we are going to organize camps for the same.
Wow.
We will be using Sikh communities' help. We will be taking their help. They are the ones who actually are absolutely selfless. If I see after Rotarians don't see any religion. But if I talk about others, then I see Sikhs are the one who work the most selfless. So I've already contacted them. We are working out on the beneficiaries. So in another 3 months, we will be doing 25,000 more free vaccinations. This is the fund that I have already received, and maybe we will continue. We will keep receiving the funds. There are people who keep supporting us, and I'm sure we will keep doing the work that we have been doing. And I take proud of my volunteers.
Thank you. It is, when you have an inspiring leader, I think it all starts from there. When you are so enthused, they are also. And then looking at them again, it is a circle. Like you have, a circle of influence, right? So it is mutual. I'm very sure that it has originated from you. And another thing, I just wanted to ask you, what is your message for public, for Rotarians, for COVID, especially with relevance to COVID? One message you gave very strongly is, yes, do not put stress on the kids about their examinations, about their studies. That is one. The second message is see to it that children get flu shots so that they are more prepared. That I get. Any more information or any more important message that you would like to share?
So my next important message, which I've already requested everybody in my talk, is to follow all the social distancing norms.
Yes.
It is very important.
Behave responsibly. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the next thing that I want to ask everybody is to come forward and help people.
Right.
Feel it for your countrymen. And if one person has a network of 10 people, then 10 people have a network of 1,000 people.
Absolutely.
So whenever needed, use your network. That's it.
The multiplier effect. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Just come forward and help in whatever way you can.
Absolutely. So one last question, then I will open the floor for questions if anybody has got questions. So what keeps you going? Because people do get depressed, people do suddenly feel helpless. Then sometimes you feel overwhelmed with the work. Suddenly there are days when there are too many calls and too many people asking for help. Suddenly sometimes you feel, okay, I'm not running a bank, I don't have a group of people working for me. Then so many calls I'm receiving, I'm not able to do justice. You do feel helpless. So how do you motivate yourself to keep going and going?
Commitment to serve the mankind and peaceful sleep post saving a life.
Wonderful. Wonderful. That is very lovely. Now, I would request any questions from the audience. If anybody has got to want to share something or ask something to Dr. Megha, you're welcome. It was such a beautiful talk, and I loved, the way you answered the questions. It all came from the depth of your being. Thank you so much for doing so much for the world and showing us the way. Thank you so much. Yeah, in the
Thank you.
meantime, I'm just opening the floor for questions. Yes.
You can unmute and ask. You can unmute yourself.
Girija ma'am, you are on a mute.
So if you can put up your hand on the reaction, then we know who is planning to, instead of everybody talking at the same time, right? So
So
please
Praveen has
ask
a question.
questions. Yes, Praveen, yes.
Great. Thank you. So in fact, first of all, I'd really like to compliment Dr. Megha for such a wonderful work. More than, I would say, not the presentation of the speech, the wonderful work that has been done for the nation. Absolutely, it's, I mean, beyond the words that we can actually express, that's how it is. Just talk of the town, if I say, which is like, third wave, off and on, people keep on talking about it. Just wanted to understand, and what's your views on that?
You are on a
Uh,
mute,
Mute.
Dr. Megha.
Thank you, Praveen, first of all, for coming for this session. And to tell you all, he may be joining Rotary very soon. He is one of my son's colleague's parent. So what do you call? Yeah. So we both are parents of the kids who are studying in the same school, and we both sent the kids on the same time. So that's how we are connected. And yeah, Prospect Rotarian, seeing us on the Facebook. And to tell you, Praveen, as I said earlier also, to me, the wave is not over as yet. If we have 26,000 to 30,000 cases still live every day, the wave is not over. We have to maintain and we have to follow all the social distancing norms. If there is a rise, I can say it is a rise of the second wave, or we can say it is a third wave. Why they say it's on the kids, it may come on the kids, as I said earlier also, because adults will be vaccinated. A lot of adults have already got vaccinated. The impact on them will be pretty low. And our medical systems have also upgraded. But right now, they do not know how to tackle the problems of kids, how to tackle if the kids get infected. It will infect the kids only if we spread as an adults, because we are the ones who are moving around all over. We are trying to come back to the life as it was, because if we don't earn money, how would we help our kids with their education? So yes, just get vaccinated, follow all the social distancing norms. That is my only view for the third wave.
Wonderful.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank
Quick
you.
and
Yeah.
apt.
Thank you, Praveen,
Thank
for the
you.
question. Actually, I just forgot to mention that the Digital Travelers recently recognized Dr. Megha as one of the leaders of the world. So definitely it is such a beautiful statement that they have made with that award, with that recognition, because I feel, yes, a leader is somebody who is able to make opportunity out of an adversity, which you have done. And so I tremendously am thankful to them for recognizing you. Thank you so much. Yes, I think Deepak Agarwal ji has a question. Yes.
Yeah, congratulations, Megha. You're doing a tremendous, wonderful job. Keep it up.
Thank you, Deepak. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
No, it's my pleasure. I just saw that flyer and I just joined it maybe 10 minutes late, but I think I was on time. And
Okay.
thank you, Girija ma'am, for this wonderful. You have been moderating like, I would say, like some news channel reporter kind of thing. The questions you are shooting to Megha is very difficult to answer, but she is managing it and she is doing it very well. I must
She has done
compliment
it all, so that is why.
Yeah, I have seen, and the way you have been moderating really is a super way.
Thank you.
You have
Thank you
been
so
master,
much.
you have mastered the art of moderating, I suppose.
Thank you so much. Thank you for attending also.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
Mumbai, for this wonderful initiative and calling Dr. Mega. And we also have learned so many things listening to her inspiring journey.
Absolutely. It is
Yeah.
inspiring. Yes.
Yeah, Mega, I just wanted to ask you, like in some parts of India, right now you can see kids are affected with some fever, along with some stomach ache and breathing problem. Is this the effect of a third wave, which it was said that the child will be affected more, or is it something different disease or something different pandemic or anything has come up? Just highlight, because
Thanks.
here in Bengal also around today it was 170 cases they were admitted. The children were admitted in the government hospital, and they are still yet to find out what is the exact reason.
Thank you, Rotarian Deepak. First of all, this is a very technical question, and I am a doctorate, and I'm not a medical doctor. That is why we are a team of digital frontline warriors. So for this, we are also waiting for the verdict from the medical practitioners. IMA is working very hard to get to the solution and to get to know what is the exact reason behind this. Right now, there is nobody, no doctor also, is in the position to tell you what is this exactly. But what our IFC team is doing, I can tell you. Our IFC team is helping them get the medical aids, whatever is required. We do have the data. We do help them if they get a call. We do help them tell what hospital they can go. But the major thing that they are requiring right now is financial help with the medicines. We have already raised 30 lakh rupees plus so far to help these underprivileged people with their medicines. So that is what our IFC team is doing for COVID or non-COVID patients as well. Even these are also included. So currently, it's just the medication that we are trying to help them financially.
But then the government is also planning to open the schools over here after Puja, which is another very scathing news to hear. Like the pandemic, one side the pandemic is rising, and another side the government is trying to open. Where the schools are forcing them that why everything is opening and why not schools. But they are not able to understand that school is a big chain of this human chain, which can really make the pandemic way worse.
Absolutely.
Because it starts from the home and then to the bus and then to the schools, the teachers, and then again to the parents. And so this will be a very big this problem, this pandemic.
It is a vicious circle, and discussions are again going on. This school opening has happened twice. They have announced and then they have stopped. So again, I'm sure that there will be reconsiderations and there will be meetings, because many parental bodies have also expressed this. So I hope that again the government will reconsider that. Yes.
Yeah. So to tell about the case study, Girja, thank you for answering and making my life little simpler. But like, for example, in Himachal, the schools got opened for 1 week for the senior classes, and they had shut it down with the rise. So I'm sure the government is wise enough, and they are discussing in all the forums before taking a call. Right now, recently I read last week that the schools in 2 states, they said that the school will remain closed till 21st September. But the schools have not opened as yet. Today is 22nd. So these are talks that are happening, but I'm sure the government will take a very wise decision before opening it for everyone.
Absolutely. It is not the question of being pressurized by anybody. We need to understand what is good for the larger community. That is it. Yes, I'm sure that will be done.
I think before vaccination, they will not.
Because there's a recent case. Because there's a recent case in Gangtok, and Sikkim, they had opened the schools. And the very first day, there were 5 cases in one class.
Absolutely.
And the government found it out, and they had closed down till 31st October. The schools have got closed again.
Yeah, so this is happening. They are maybe, this is a government policy. We really cannot comment much on it, but maybe they are trying to do a trial as well, by opening it for the senior people. But to me, if you ask me, I think they will not open the school full-fledgedly or for a longer period till the vaccines come for the kids.
That will be a wise decision. Before vaccination, the school should not open. That will be a positive approach.
Well said. That is true. Most teachers also, principals also, in their conferences, they have said that even if you maintain social distancing, then only half the class can attend. So they have said that probably only 9th and 10th standard students can be called, and they can be given only examination preparation or something like that, not the regular classes. So they have prepared now all video lectures, and teachers have put in a lot of effort. They have learned to adjust to the new media. So the most schools are insisting that let us not open. Let's see what happens.
Yes. Teachers have upgraded themselves the most during this time.
Absolutely. They have worked so hard at it. Absolutely. Yes.
It is very difficult. We do so many Zoom meetings and we see many people are on mute, many people are with video off. So, to keep everybody engaged, it's very difficult.
Exactly.
Being adults. But there on the classes, these are kids who are very fidgety, full of energy, and the teacher has to ensure that all the 24 kids are engaged. So I've spoken to many teachers and I asked them, how do you feel about it? And I realized they are more stressed than the kids as well.
Absolutely, because there is sometimes even parental interference. Parents come and ask questions. Parents say, I heard this, you are talking like this. Or sometimes they come and give food to the child there when the class is going on, they say, eat it. So all kinds of things are happening. So many teachers, like you said, are very flustered with this. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I have seen some cases wherein, parents have made videos of a particular session and sent to the principal, see what's happening.
Exactly.
So, we may have come to the room of the child in between or something.
Yes.
So we don't know what is the background, why this is happening.
Exactly.
But teachers are the one who are suffering more than even kids as well.
Absolutely.
The other day I was seeing that Kaun Bane Crorepati, and there was a teacher who was in the hot seat. And I was really amazed. She clapped for herself, and then that Amitabh Bachchan was very surprised. Why? Because she said that the doctors, the frontline warriors who are working day and night in this pandemic, this is the teachers. They should be regarded that they are the frontline warriors. They should also be a frontline warriors because they have taught them, they have educated them to be a good human being and serve the humanity.
Absolutely.
For the teachers, we must compliment each one of them.
Yes. So we always say that learning never stops and should never stop at our stage, at our age. But they are the ones, kids don't know. Kids really don't know what is learning. They just know that they have been sent to the school or they have to study because parents are forcing them.
Exactly.
They really do not understand at a very tender age. They really do not understand what is the importance of education. But teachers are the one who have actually kept it going.
Absolutely.
So, of course, they need to be patted the most.
Very true.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Any
I have a
further
question.
questions?
Yes, I have a question. Thank you so much, Dr. Megha, for taking us through your wonderful journey. And my question is, it is non-COVID related. So you said you actually went bankrupted not once, twice, but thrice.
Yeah.
After that as well, what was the push factor, or what motivated you to again start? So that is something, definitely, because it is something like, for example, if somebody is failing, I know that failure is the birth to the success, but there has to be some push, there has to be some kind of a motivation or thought which comes to your mind. So what was that?
My passion to travel.
Okay.
So I converted my passion into my profession,
Uh-huh.
and I had never learned from anybody. So of course, I thought, especially when the third time I got bankrupt, I didn't want to restart.
Mhm.
My husband gave me 2.5 lakh rupees that time, and he said, Megha, when we were kids, our parents used to invest in our education,
Mhm.
and that is how we are able to earn.
Wow.
Take this as your last opportunity. Take this as your investment to your learning, and don't stop from here. That was
Wow,
the
lovely.
last
Beautiful.
chapter.
Wow. And you said
Beautiful. They
your
say,
husband is HR, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
he's in HR.
I can relate to it because I'm an HR and we
You
have
got
many
it right.
members over here who are
From
HR.
HR.
So yes.
They say that if your profession is your passion, then you don't work for a single day because
Yes.
you don't feel that you're working, right? Beautiful, beautiful. Are there any more questions, or
There's
do
one
we?
incident. I was in one of the Zoom meetings where Megha was also there, and our very dear RI president right now, Shekhar Mehta, was also there. And he was, we were just, there was some Zoom meeting was going on, and Dr. Megha wanted to basically unmute herself, and she was unable to mute. Shekhar Mehta, they said, "Don't worry, Megha, I will do it for you," and that was a great applause.
Absolutely.
To be recognized in a big crowd is a very good applause. I must compliment. I had complimented Megha personally also. That is a great achievement.
Yes.
Thank
Thank
you.
you
True.
so
Yes.
much.